poop. Hello, we are Two Fish Tacos.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about... What?
Yes, what are we talking about today?
Why are you doing that?
Alright, we're going to be discussing what bending is the best from Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. So if you haven't seen those, maybe not watch this, but watch this because we want views. So first we're going to go over daily life of just kind of...
each type of bender. So convenience is going to be one. Well, probably the main one.
Yeah, for like daily life really. Like which bending will like help you the most
in your daily life.
Yeah. So, obviously, 4 bendings: water, fire, earth, and air.
And if you don't know that,
keep watching because we want views.
Yeah.
All right. So, first off, I would say because like one thing for everyone is going to be travel.
Big time. Okay. So we can start with water, I guess. Start with water.
Sure.
All right.
Okay. Water is probably not going to be the best for travel, I would say, because unless you're like traveling from like continent to continent, it's probably not all that.
I mean, if you're like a skilled waterbender, if you're like a skilled waterbender, right? I mean, maybe you need to like you can do some ice bending, maybe. And you're like, oh, all right, I'll bring this packet of water with me, and you just chuck it on the ground, and you ice bend it, and you ski across it. You know what I mean? Which
you're basically just being like frozen, but that's like still, I guess, not the best for like traveling.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, yeah, travel or water's probably not the best one for travel definitely not for travel. Unless you're gonna be like going to Australia from
unless you're like traveling against like you're going from like one continent to another, it's gonna be kind of useless.
Right. Yeah, I mean, overseas, sure. Yeah, you can do that. Not overseas,
kind of pointless.
Yeah, there's really no use.
This guy. Whatever, that part's getting trimmed out.
Yeah, okay.
Earthbending, I'm gonna say is probably gonna be the best one because when we see Toph just going around, like what was it like after like Toph and Katara were like arguing, then she just like kind of like just moved the ground like with her like as she was running away.
Sure. Oh no, that's not that scene. That's what I was gonna talk about.
Oh, well, I brought up that scene.
That scene is after she invents metal bending. And so she closes the thing on those guys and she's like, oh, fuck you. And then she starts running away, but the ground is moving with her feet.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that happened like, Katara and Toph's fight happened before that.
Yeah, but that wasn't the same scene.
Yeah, but it's the same tactic.
She didn't do that though.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, after Katara and Toph had their argument, she was like all pissed off and was like crying, running away, moving the earth with her. Remember? And then after that, she ran into Iroh and they talked.
I don't remember that.
It happened!
Okay.
Anyways, earthbending is probably the best, especially like when Boomy, like he falls back into the ground and just like basically like teleports somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Earthbending is like probably like, especially like when someone has it skilled, probably like the best like for transportation.
Yeah, definitely. If you need to get to work really fast, earthbending could definitely be the one.
Like firebending is only good if you're very powerful and can like basically propel yourself somewhere.
Zuko, Azula, Ozai, definitely. He did that too.
Yeah, like did Iroh ever fly?
I mean, he didn't fly, but I assume he could.
He definitely could. Iroh could do anything. Anyways, firebending would be like alright, but like I don't think that it would still be like something that you still have to like kind of master.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that you kind of like need oxygen, like that much more, I guess you could say, could make it. I guess.
Yeah.
So like, let's say it's like a really windy day or something, so it might mess up your fire or something. I don't know.
I mean, technically you could say, oh, there's oxygen in water, but I mean, Zuko did use his firebending under the ice. When he's going to the North Pole, he's trapped under the ice, and he literally melts the ice from underwater, and then he comes back up. I mean, you could say technically there was oxygen in the water, but that's kind of, I don't know. I guess I would think that might be taking it a little bit of a stretch because he wasn't too skilled at the time.
Yeah, but I'm just more focused on the actual transportation.
I'm just saying because you were saying like, oh, he needs, or you need oxygen for firebending, which you do, but I don't know. I would think maybe that's.
Well, it really comes like from the breath, I guess you could say.
That's what.
On like how powerful it actually is gonna be.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, so firebending is like only gonna be like, okay, earth and fire are kind of like at the same level ish. I would say earth is better, like if you're just like land traveling, like over like a distance, I guess you could say.
Right.
And like if you're going from like, I guess, continent to continent, earth bending won't be as good. I mean, you could make yourself a bridge and just go across, and then what do you call it, with firebending, as long as you're skilled, you could like propel yourself anywhere.
Right.
But airbending, travel wise, oh, scary ghost opened the door.
Oh, I'll be right back.
All right, I'll oh, never mind, it closed it by itself as well.
Sorry, ghost.
Anyway, airbending would arguably be the best yet the hardest to master.
I knew he was gonna do this.
It'd be the hardest to master, but it'd probably be the best because with airbending, if you like forget everything, then you could just literally fly, like just fly.
Airbending? Yeah.
So it's like in that aspect.
I mean, Zahir did it.
Yeah. So travel wise, it's like it would be the best, but most likely that everyday Joe would be able to do that. No, the only other thing that everyday Joe could do is like maybe Aang's airball thing, air scooter.
Aang invented that.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that'd be easier for someone to learn
than
to literally just forget all Earth attachments and just fly.
I get that, but I mean, yeah, it would be easier,
but it'd still be harder.
Yeah, I think it's a little too recent. I mean, 70 years ago, so kind of. But I think it's still a little bit too recent for you to be able to go, oh, it'd be pretty easy for the average Joe to be like, hey, I want to just whoop and get
do something the Avatar invented.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
So, water and air probably are like or I would say air is probably like the worst for travel than water. And then I would say...
No, I would put air over water.
Water, really?
Yeah.
But
Sky Bison. Sky Bison.
That's not airbending, though.
They are airbending.
But you are not the average Joe with the Sky Bison.
Yeah, whatever, I guess.
Yeah, not all the new airbenders automatically obtained Sky Bison.
But they did get them at some point.
Shut up! We're just talking about daily life. You don't have a permit for a Sky Bison. I doubt it.
Fair.
Anyways, so air on bottom, then water, and then fire, and then earth. But that's just travel.
Yeah.
Because there's a little more to daily life. And the only other things I guess I could think of for daily life is like cooking. So then obviously...
Oh, right, yeah.
So obviously firebender would then be the best in that case.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just ask Jet.
Yeah. He hooked. He made it to tea hot.
He works in a tea shop, cunt. No.
Hey, no bad words.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So cooking, firebending immediately goes to the top.
Yeah.
You don't even need to explain that one. Waterbending,
Maybe?
You could kind of... What could you do with water? I mean, you could like purify it and then be like, oh, drinking water.
Wait, that's actually something that's really good, I guess you say. Well, it's not daily, or no, it is daily life. Like, you could just be, because so many people like buy like special like water purifiers for tap water or whatever. Right. You could just pour it and then just throw away all those minerals. And then like for people who have like hard water in their like for showers, they could just purify their own water and like make it fucking soft water.
Right.
So like water bending would actually then like in that case be better. So not cooking wise, obviously. So like if you're someone who like cooks a lot, firebending would then probably be the best. If you're someone who like lives somewhere that doesn't have like the best of water, then water bending would be the best. I'm trying to think like what else would then kind of like what could like air be good at for like daily life.
Like air and earth are both. They're the ones that you can like in this section you can be like they're both at the same spot kind of. What can you do with earth? I mean, maybe you could set up a fire if you just kind of with rocks. I guess I don't know.
That's just anyone can use a flint
Exactly.
and steel at that
my,
point, or
that's
a
my
lighter.
point. That's my point. Anybody can do that.
But at
so
that
it's
point,
like,
then a firebender would just be superior because they could just, just start the fire automatically.
exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying is that like it's going to be fire on top and then water and then.
So just overall for daily life.
I guess.
Okay, so like for daily life overall, fire is the best,
Yeah.
and then water and earth are kind of like between, and then air on
And then
bottom.
the air is on the bottom because
There's not. I'm like trying to think like what you can do with air that like would be like something like considered like daily life kind of.
I mean, Aang used it to like boost his agility a lot, which I don't know how much you're gonna need that in daily life.
I mean, if someone wants to be like in sports, and even though that technically be cheating, you can still, I guess, use it. I mean, so like I guess like for daily life, if you're kind of lazy, you can just like push yourself around or like use the air to like try to grab stuff or something. Like push like if the remote's like too far and you're just like and I just use air bending to bring it over to
The
you.
force, the force,
The cheap force. Okay, so for daily life, I think we could agree.
Air's on the bottom.
Air on bottom, and then
Earth and water are kind of in the same spot, but just for the means of ranking, we'll say water is
higher. Yeah, I was gonna say like I would feel like water because Earth is only good like for traveling wise, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only other thing I could think of is like if you literally want to build your own like house.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really want to take the time. I mean, I'm not that kind of guy.
Well, some people definitely like. Some people will just straight up build their own houses regardless with just normal stuff. So it'd be like, I guess you could say easier this way. So, but that's not considered, I guess, daily life. So air, earth, water, fire for daily life. So
fire's kind of all around, like it's up,
Yeah, because like it's good for travel. It's not the best, but it's good for travel.
Right.
As long as you're like kind of a master at it, then like if you're not a master, you can use it to cook. And then like we see in Legend of Korra, we can see that all these guys can just weld.
All of these guys can just randomly be like, lightning, and it's like, fine.
Yeah, because like the Avatar made it sound like it was like something really hard to do.
Yeah,
and then like you just have like a whole factory of people.
It upset me so much when I saw that.
But we'll get into that maybe another time.
Different episode. It's not this episode.
All right. So now, firebending has one win in categories. So our next category is gonna be 1v1s. Which bending is the best for 1v1 combats?
We're not just gonna do this one versus this one. It's gonna be each bending versus each other. We're gonna need to go through each one. So
yeah, and then like we're obviously gonna kind of like look at the show and kind of like how it worked, because you can't just kind of like say, oh well, what if this happened? We're just kind of gonna go more off the show.
Right.
So
first matchup.
Right off the bat, I'm just gonna say this actually, because I know what you're saying, like, oh, let's see how each bending would do against the other. I'm just gonna say this: air is the overall best 1v1.
Yeah, definitely.
Regardless,
most definitely.
Even though Aang was the Avatar, he didn't master all the other bendings for a long time, and he still fared up against a lot of other bendings very well.
Because he mastered airbending at the youngest person to ever master airbending at 12.
I thought,
unless Jinora was Jinora?
I thought that the previous air Avatar,
Yang Chen?
Yeah, I thought she did it younger.
No, he was the youngest master of air ever.
Oh, well,
12.
How old is he? 12?
He's 12.
I thought maybe they made Jinora younger.
It might have been.
But Aang's better than Jinora anyway. So.
Always. And Tenzin's better than, not Aang, but yeah. Anyway.
Tenzin's better than Zahir.
Yeah, definitely. If
he was gonna win that fight,
he was totally
100%,
gonna win that fucking fight.
But it turned into like a 1v4. So whatever. We'll get into that later. Anyways, airbending is definitely the best overall for like 1v1s because we see Aang fight Zuko a lot, and he fared very well.
He definitely came out on top almost every single time.
And then also fighting Boomy, he did very good.
Yeah.
And even against Toph, when he was simply just trying to
talk
to her.
One move, and she was done.
Yeah, like, she probably, like, in a real fight could have kept going, but, like, for the sake of that, he still beat her. And then I don't remember, like, watching Aang actually go up against a waterbender with his air. because he was kind of like friends with the waterbenders like from the start.
Yeah, he immediately was like this with the waterbenders.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Katara and Sokka, but
Well, he obviously won't beat Sokka. Come on.
the best bender in history. Yeah.
Period.
Right. Sorry, best bender / non-bender.
Anyways, Airbender is definitely airbending's like definitely like the best like overall. But the only question is then like what's after that then? Because we could then like go back and forth and try to say water's the best or fire is the best or earth bending's the best. Because like just for 1v1 purposes though, so we cannot like take in like 1v many fights really.
Okay.
Because I know what I can definitely say for 1v many, like which two would, or which other ones would be the best, but
Earth, I think second best. Like to air, I think Earth comes right underneath it because technically you don't need it, but you obviously if you're a firebender you get that boost during the day or during Sozin's Comet. And if you're a waterbender, you get that boost during the night or like a full moon.
oh, then earthbenders don't need to wait for anything.
They don't need to wait. And technically, you know, they were in the show at least. Fuck the movie. In the show, you know, they were on that ship in the middle of the ocean, so they couldn't bend anything because Toph hadn't invented it yet. Technically, if they really wanted to, they could have tried to bend the fucking Earth under the water.
No, they said that was too far.
That's what I'm saying, right? It was too far. Toph probably still could have done it though. That's my point.
I don't doubt that, yeah. But what they ended up doing was just they used the coal.
They used the coal. They did use the coal, and they wrecked them with just coal, like walls of coal.
And then also, especially since Toph invented metal bending, then we see in Legend of Korra metal bending being mastered, and then we find out for some stupid reason, because show reasons, what's the fat brother's Bolin is able to fucking lava bend.
Fat.
He's able
He's
to
not
just,
fat. That's not the point. Anyway,
he's able to lava bend, which is kind of dumb reasoning, but
yeah,
he can.
We're
not going to go into.
It was weird.
We're not going to go into if that's logical or not. It's molten rock, whatever.
What's even less logical is the way Korra learned how to airbend.
We can't go into that right now. We can't go into that right now.
Sorry. Another episode.
Anyways,
go ahead.
Earthbending does have a lot. It has obviously because it doesn't need to wait for any like special like timing, I guess, then for like its powers, and then it has access to metal bending, lava bending, and then also this is something that like when what's his face, that one general decided to just sink Katara under the ground,
and Aang
like,
went sicko mode.
Yeah, like I've just thought of it like all the earthbenders could just do that to everyone, and most of them wouldn't be able to escape. Because the waterbenders, they don't have access to any water at that point, so they're already screwed. The firebenders, if they're very powerful, might be able to like blast like some freaking giant fireball explosion type deal to try to get out. But then if they turn the rock into lava, the earthbenders just have control of that, and they're just gonna force it onto them and kill them.
Yeah.
And then the airbenders.
But I mean, look at it this way: that general sinking Katara into the ground, that was fucking like cement, and he made it look like it was like liquid,
Like quicksand.
Yeah. So like, my point is, how talented do you have to be to do that? You can say like you were saying how you would think, oh, most earthbenders would be able to do that, and they wouldn't be able to escape. I don't think many could do that. Like that, you have to be really skilled to be able to do that.
Well, then let's just make it a simple way. They just make a giant hole and then close it back up.
I guess.
And they just literally squish them.
Yeah, I guess, but it's Nickelodeon and it's Avatar. They're not gonna kill.
I know,
but
I'm just saying, like for actual battle wise, that like they could have done that. Yeah, and then obviously airbending is gonna be the best 1v1, especially because Zahir was able to just steal breath from people and steal air from people. I forgot to say that. Obviously, air would be the best 1v1. Like there's not like all firebenders, they wouldn't be able to do anything. Waterbenders, if there's like water in the area, maybe, but if you literally can't breathe, I doubt you're gonna be able to focus on like trying to like freeze them or something like that. And same with earthbenders. Like
you're gonna be
like with all of them, like if your breath is taken away, there's like you're gonna focus on that really, and it's gonna be a lot harder to escape.
Yeah,
so
you're gonna be focusing on I need to catch my breath, because if you don't, then you're gonna feel like, oh shit, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, like you're just gonna lose your focus regardless.
Yeah, so
it's already been established. Air's the best, and then
Earth.
Earth underneath.
And then now for water and earth or fire. I mean, the most convenient thing about fire is that you don't need like a source. You can just generate it, right?
That's true.
That's the most convenient thing. Is
Because like Katara, she was forced to carry that lug of water with her like everywhere she went.
Exactly.
And
Earth, technically, you don't need a source, but you need to be near Earth. That's the point.
Well, yeah, but like most likely you're gonna be on ground.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be within somewhere of like ground or rock or something. So like the likelihood of you not being around something like that is very slim.
Right. Right. And
So,
then obviously air is kind of the same thing, but I mean chances are it's still probably good.
well, think of it this way: air's everywhere unless you're in the fucking vacuum of space.
I know. He airbent in the water and froze himself and Appa in there for a while. So 100 years. But yeah, technically yes, there is even
And
air
then also,
in the water.
yeah, so it's like, so obviously airbender, earth bending, and then for the simple fact that water benders need some type of source like right there with them. I mean, the only thing that I could say is blood bending, but we've only seen 3 people blood bend in the show, right?
Right. We've only seen 3 people blood bend. That's Katara,
The old lady,
and then actually like
and then the
4.
equalist.
Amon, and then his dad.
Oh yeah, so, and then you could technically count the brother too.
Oh yeah, his brother.
That was weak.
His brother, did he do it?
He tried to. He like kind of did it, but he didn't master it.
Right.
So
like 5 people.
Yeah, but like only 3 main people really.
Yeah.
And so the likelihood of other people, because that's already something that's like most people don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
And then since it's already something then harder to master, it's very unlikely that you would come up against someone that has it to say.
Right. I mean,
So,
if God forbid, if you did, you're gonna get destroyed.
yeah, like the only way you can like prevent that is if you're an airbender and like maybe like right before you start getting blood bent, you like start taking their breath away.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's the thing is like you really can't. You're being blood bent, so they can do whatever the fuck they want with you at that point. Whatever they want. Move your hands like this. You need your hands.
Fold you into a pretzel.
Yeah, you need your hands and legs to bend. That's the thing.
So definitely airbending is not the top for the fact of being able to take the breath away, because we've only seen one person do that, and we've seen more people blood bend. So if we tried to use that logic, it wouldn't work. But we've seen airbending just better overall.
Yeah, just in a grander standpoint.
And the only reason they got massacred is because they're pacifists, really. But that one airbender guy that Aang saw,
his dad.
His skeleton was surrounded by a ton of firebenders.
So he gave up
so he went all out.
Like Yang Chen said, like, for the greater good, you gotta give up your own morals. And I think he knew he needed to fight. I think what's his name? Gyatso. I think Gyatso kind of just knew, okay, I need to at least try. I need to do something.
So I think most of them died, especially because a lot of them are still kids or really old. A lot of them died, I feel like, just because they were trying to be like hold on to their morals. And then he's like, "No, what, man? I just gotta throw those out the window." And he just like went out,
right,
like blazing glory. But we've just like, especially with Aang, we've just seen airbending like perform better. So air would definitely be on top, earth, and then fire, and then water.
And then water at the bottom. Just because water is probably the most difficult thing to be around out of all of those.
Like, especially like if you're somewhere like in the middle of a country, like, or like even in a country that doesn't have any beaches or anything like that, waterbending then becomes a lot harder. Like you have way less access to it, and then the fact that, like, for bloodbending wise, I just, for bloodbending, you can definitely beat anyone at that point. So for like, if it was that case, bloodbending would then, waterbending would then be at the top for bloodbending. But for the fact that, because I'm just going off like, or should we go off like just like a fully like mastered of whatever bending?
I don't think you need to go off of like fully mastered. I think it's more so just
like an overall kind of thing.
Yeah.
So then overall, airbenders would then be the top, then earth,
and then
fire, and then water. Sadly. And then, so that's, I guess you could say, a point for airbending then.
Yeah.
And now, one versus many. So this is just one person fighting more than one other person. And
this doesn't matter what kind of bender there are. It's just in general, one type of bender versus whatever benders. Right?
Yeah. Okay. And for me, I'm automatically say airbending is not the best. We've seen every other bending easily fight several other people. Airbending was the only one that was kind of meh.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Aang has been in situations a lot where he's been surrounded and chose not to fight. It's not that he couldn't, he chose not to, right?
Well, I mean, he could have he could have fought, but then he also could have lost.
I mean, yeah, but
because
we don't know that. That's the thing. We don't know what could happen.
See, we're going off than what the show has showed us, and what the show has showed us is Aang, at least when he the craziest moment of waterbending we've seen is when the water spirit or moon spirit or something entered Aang, and that giant spirit thing just literally washed away all the firebender boats.
I think it was the ocean spirit. But yeah.
So and then if we just if you wanted to, you could scale that down a bit and just see waterbending could easily especially if someone's at the ocean, you could easily fight many people at once.
Obviously, but I know, but what are the chances?
No, but we're just talking about 1v many at this point.
Right. Okay. So I think water, again, just for the pure fact that you need to carry something around, I think that would have to be at the bottom, at least at the bottom. Air, definitely not at the top. I mean.
So you think water, air, or air, water?
I think.
Because we've
water,
seen
air.
better examples of water fighting many people than air fighting many people.
I'd still put water below. Just simply because the source is not super easy to be around. I mean, air, obviously, it's a defensive element. That's what it is. It's a defensive element. It's not on the attack. So, I guess you could put air underwater and just be just because it's mainly pure defense, you kind of have to put it there because there's really no fighting involved. It's all just kind of stay away from it.
That's kind of why it would be the best also for 1v1s.
It's all evasive. So yeah, I guess you would put air at the bottom
and then
water right above it.
Okay, now the actual difficult one, because we've seen both of these do a very good job fighting people, firebending and earthbending. Because let's think of the two best scenes for firebend, or the best scene for firebending is when Azula is able to get out from all the people from one of each bending, and then Sokka with his boomerang all attacking her at once. She was still able to escape.
Which one did you take out first?
What?
What did she deflect first?
I don't remember.
She deflected Sokka's boomerang.
Oh yeah, the most dangerous thing of all.
Yeah. Anyway, for real. Yeah, she was still able to evade that, which was fucking wild. I still have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that she was able to be nope, and got away from all of it.
Yeah.
Because that's fire from Zuko. It's air from Aang. It's water from Katara. Sokka's boomerang. And then that's lightning from Iroh. She was faster than lightning.
Wasn't Toph there? I forgot. Wait, no.
Toph. Was she there?
Because I was going to say Earth from Toph, but I don't remember.
I don't remember.
There were 5 points of angle, 5
points.
Yeah, 5 points. Attack. 5 points of attack coming at her, and she was able to evade them all with fire. And in other scenes, she'd be trying to fight the gang, her fire did kind of trump at certain moments, especially when she was fighting Zuko and Sokka at the same time on top of the rail cart thing or whatever. Or the cable cart. She was able to fight both of them and still hold her ground.
Right.
And sure, she may not have technically won that fight, but the point is she didn't lose either. She still held her ground.
She was also more skilled than Zuko was, you know, or was at the time. She's more skilled. She has not more experience because she's younger, but she is just overall a better bender. She was overall a better bender. So, I mean,
and then if we want to, we can take into account Sozin's comment. Literally, if you come across any firebender at that point, they're gonna wreck any group of anyone.
They're putting you down 6 feet under immediately.
Yeah, like,
I mean, unless you're Toph.
and you're just gonna put yourself back up.
Yeah.
But that's like firebending is good, and then earthbending, it like we see, like I think like I guess you could say like the best moment or so would be when what do you call it? Like when the gang decides to roll up on it's like the Earth Queen's like throne or whatever.
What about it?
Like they literally just start wrecking all the guards like on their pathway over there.
Were they? I thought they went there peacefully.
No, I don't know. Like I think Azula took it over at that point or something, and that's why they're trying to rush their way in.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So like literally all the guards, they're like, and these are like professional earthbenders, basically. Like these are security top of the notch royal guards.
The Dai Li.
Yeah, there we go. The Dai Li, and they're over here just wrecking them back and forth. Like, granted, it's Toph and Aang, but
Toph did a lot of the work.
Yeah, but there were guards on each side of the road. Aang dealt with the left side. Toph dealt with the right side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still 1v many. Because if it, and then like also we see in what do you call it? Legend of Korra. Even like we see Toph roll up and literally just like move all the ground like a wave and just like throw all the robots and other guys over and just like wreck everyone basically. So like earthbending and firebending are definitely the best when it comes to 1v many fights. It's just a question of which one's better.
I would a little bit of bias on my part because I've always been a big fan of earthbending. But I personally would put earthbending above firebending. I know technically it's easier to be a firebender just simply because of the convenience. But
I would actually argue that. Look at Aang. First time the first or second time he tried using firebending, he freaking burns his girlfriend.
Yeah, but he was super good at it. He was really good at it. I mean, obviously
he couldn't control it actually.
He picked it up really fast.
Yeah, but he couldn't control it, and that's the main thing.
Okay. Obviously, he was a better waterbender because air, right?
Yeah.
Better at water. But fire, I mean, the first time he actually decided he wanted to try it because with the leaf and whatever, and he was getting impatient. I think that's more so what it was. He got impatient and he was being really impulsive, and he was okay.
But see, then you gotta take that into like everyone else. But that's something we should have gone into daily life. We're just now focusing on 1v many.
Right.
But Earth, like, okay, let's think of it this way: Toph versus several firebenders, to say.
Toph wins.
And then
100% of the time.
Then let's say Azula versus a ton of Dai Li.
Azula wins 100% of the time. They're really skilled Dai Li. The Dai Li are really skilled earthbenders. But we've seen her at work.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen her do what she does best, which is be a bitch, but also firebend, you know?
Yeah.
And she's gotten out of situations.
You said a bad word.
Am I not supposed to say any bad words?
I don't know.
We've seen her in situations like the eclipse where she couldn't use her bending and she still was able to get out of it. Which I know.
She didn't fight though, she just talked it, didn't she?
Exactly. I guess not everybody.
Well, that's not firebending.
Yeah, not everybody's going to be as persuasive as Azula or anything, but yeah, I get it. I get what you mean. But
so we're talking about firebending and earthbending, not
Azula's
persuasion skills.
Azula simply, like, if you were just as skilled as Azula, which, I mean, if you were, good for you. But let's just say, right, anybody who is as skilled as Azula in firebending, I feel like they could probably win any.
I mean, you can then technically say the same thing for Toph or Boomy
or 1v many. I mean, Toph and Boomy.
Because
yeah. But I mean, Okay, fine.
Is this what you're just trying to say? Are you trying to
around.
say that more earthbenders are skilled than more
yes.
firebenders? Is that what you're getting at?
Yes, exactly. I feel like it would probably be a little. It's a sturdy element, but I think it would be more like Toph said that. But I think it would be more simple and a little bit easier to learn than firebending because Aang, when he tried it out with Zuko, right? They went to meet the dragons. They gave them fire. They said, "Keep this fire up. Keep it alive." Right? Gave it to him, and he's like, "Oh, it's a little heartbeat. It's got a." Okay, so basically, what I'm getting at is like
stop going into daily life. This is like kind of daily life stuff. We're just talking about 1v many.
No, I'm talking.
We're going too long.
Okay, fine.
Don't sidetrack.
My point is, you said it has a little heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more difficult to control. That's why you have to keep it alive. So I think just because of that, it would be a little bit easier to learn Earth. And you would be able to have more control over Earth.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. But like, I would guess I could say that Earth would be better at that point because think of when the water, when Aang led that like final attack into the Fire Nation, the majority of those fighters were Earthbenders, and they all definitely like Aang's like little militia compared to the Fire Nation was definitely a lot smaller. Even though the Earth Kingdom was bigger than the Fire Nation, that army that rolled up was a lot smaller. And they were able to like wipe out a lot of everything really. They were able to fight all the firebenders fairly well.
Yeah. So, all right.
So then we're saying air, water, fire, earth. So then that puts us at a bit of a dilemma. Because daily life-wise, firebending's the best.
Yeah.
1v1, air,
bending.
1v many, earth.
Poor water bending. You guys suck.
So now we need to establish which bending is the overall best. So first I'll say this. If you're someone who's not a fighter, the best bending would probably be fire, just because it's the best, like, daily life-wise.
Are you sure not air? Because, again, that's all defense. That's all...
Daily life.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Bot.
You were saying if you're not a fighter.
Yeah, if you're not a fighter. Because I said if you're not a fighter, the best daily life one.
Oh, okay. Right. My bad.
So it would either be fire, it would first be fire, and then water. If you're somewhere that does not have a lot of good water would probably be the best. Otherwise, it's fire at top.
Right.
Always. I mean, with fire, you could still boil and purify water.
You could, but
water would just be a lot faster.
It would be much easier. You'd be like, all right, here's the water. Let's get all that bad shit out of there. Okay, we're good. You know.
So then, if you're someone who's not a fighter, just chilling at home, fire's the best. For someone who gets into a lot of tussles for whatever reason.
All right. Then I guess it would be air. Or would you say, like, for the many?
Oh, well, for 1v1, air would be the best.
So then, yeah, I guess if you're a rough guy and you get into fights at school a lot or something, then yeah, maybe air. And then right underneath that would be, did we say earth?
Yeah, earth.
And then for the many, if you just for some reason start like bar fights,
like you want all the smoke.
Yeah. Then,
or like maybe you're like in the military or something.
Or something like that, yeah. Then earth is your best bet. Underneath that is fire.
Yeah. And it just like kind of also depends on like timing, I guess you could say, because like if you know you're going to go to a battle and you're like, oh, Sozin's comment. What a coincidence. Genocide time.
So I would say, based off of all that, I would say best overall, earth. That's what I would say.
Wait, but okay. So for daily life, because everyone still is going to have their own life, it's fire then water. So we're going to look at the highest two from each one.
Right.
Fire, water.
Fire, water.
And then 1v1.
Air, earth.
Air, earth.
And then earth, fire.
Earth, fire. So then that means fire got a 1 and a 2, and then earth also got a 1 and a 2.
Right.
But for the simple fact that most people are not in the military and are not fighters, or like, because every now and like eventually in your life you might like get into a situation where you need to defend yourself.
Right.
But most people don't really get into fights, I would say. I would argue then that firebending is the best overall bending. I know you have a bias for earthbending, but if you don't look at that, Because like let's say today,
I'm trying to look past that.
Yeah, really like today, you're most likely not going to try to fight anyone or kill someone today. Tomorrow, the next day, you probably won't try to kill someone. So your earthbending is just going to kind of be useless, especially since you have a car. I mean, if you don't feel like using your car and all your fossil fuels and stuff like that, you can just freaking top skate your way to the store or something.
Right.
But besides that, that means you're gonna have to like go through like all the traffic and stuff like that as well, and that might like disrupt something or. And then like with firebending, you could just like fly over all that. I guess you could say. It's about like the local law enforcement might be like, hey, you're not allowed to fly over like that. But point is, you're most likely today you're gonna cook something. Tomorrow you're gonna cook something.
Okay, yeah, I guess. So daily life, again, daily life,
which is like what most people, everyone's gonna have.
Yeah, daily life, I guess, is the closest you'll get to like overall. So yeah, I get. Okay, yeah, fire. Cunt. All right.
So, for the average Joe, we have decided that firebending's the best. If you like, but if we're gonna look at the show and determine which bending is best based off the show, and like so fighting wise, it would be Earth. So, if you are someone in the real world currently, most likely you are.
Probably, I hope you are.
And you were able to obtain one of these bendings, fire would probably be the best. If you were someone in the show and you wanted to make sure that you always came out on top in every battle, Earth.
Oh, you mean like 1v1 or 1v
just overall?
Oh, okay, right.
Earth would probably be the best, especially taking into account that Kuvera, or however you say it, say her name, beat the Avatar, even though it's arguably not it was one of the dookier avatars, but whatever. I'll get into that another time. So, summary.
Opinions differentiate on that, by the way. All right, go ahead.
Summary. Best daily life bending, fire. Best 1v1 bending, air. And then 1v many, Earth.
Overall, fire.
And then if you're in the show itself, and for the sakes of us saying which bending would like beat the other bendings in a fight, like overall more often than not, it'd be Earth. So fire, Earth would then be the best two. So then in the comments then, let us know which bending you think it's the best, and if you say water bending, then your opinion is just wrong.
Yeah, we'll stick to that forever.
But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you.